the sex hormone status, the reproductive status, libido, hormone optimization. These are the essence of what it means to be human. Here we go with an assortment of tips to optimize testosterone naturally. And this is meant to be a quick overview, breather show. I have an entire podcast on this, aired on the Joy Kong podcast, and we'll rebroadcast that, where we can get into extreme detail with each of the items on the list. So the idea here is to give you kind of a refresher and a quick overview, with hopefully you having some baseline knowledge and awareness of the things that can help you boost testosterone function naturally. And of course, this discussion is probably most appealing to the male species, but testosterone status is also super important for females. And a low testosterone condition will give you similar symptoms of malaise and poor concentration, poor cognitive function, low libido. Will give you those problems for females too. It's just that females have, I believe it's a 20-to-1 ratio less than the male, so they need vastly less testosterone floating through the bloodstream. But if that number is suppressed for lifestyle-related circumstances, you're going to have similar problems. Now, the starting point for the discussion is to realize that hectic, high-stress modern life will antagonize sex hormone status. Oh, isn't that too bad? Because the most prominent biological drive of the human is reproduction. So this is the essence of our existence on the planet. And of course, that doesn't mean that you have to go focused on reproduction in modern life. You might not be interested, whatever, but the sex hormone status, the reproductive status, libido, hormone optimization, these are the essence of what it means to be human, and that's our most prominent biological drive, or our most prominent genetic expectation for health. So when we're in a chronically stressful pattern, we are overproducing cortisol and other fight-or-flight hormones, which directly antagonize testosterone in the bloodstream. That means if you are high stress, you're going to have low T. That's just all there is to it. And with that high stress condition, you're going to be in a state of what's called chronic inflammation. You've probably read about this and heard about this so frequently. It is believed to be the root cause of virtually all disease, is this inflammatory status in the body. The best way to determine if you are suffering from chronic inflammation and overly stressful lifestyle patterns is, that's right, the spare tire, the accumulation of visceral fat around the midsection, around the organs, which is a unique and distinct kind of fat from the subcutaneous fat, known as white fat, that's deposited throughout the body. If you have too much of that, you might not be happy, but the visceral fat has an especially alarming health consequence. It is believed to be, it is classified as a separate organ, the belly fat, because of its ability to secrete inflammatory cytokine chemicals into the bloodstream. So just like an organ, your thyroid secreting agents into the bloodstream, your visceral fat are secreting these inflammatory cytokines, and that is what's giving you this chronic inflammation status and compromising your sex hormone status. So, spare tire battle. And again, this is for both males and females. The accumulation of visceral fat around the midsection, undesirable for everybody, but the same health consequence comes from this overly stressful lifestyle, chronic inflammation, and that is a direct antagonist to your sex hormone status. So if we can just kind of narrow in and focus our goals, our performance, and our evaluation on taking care of this spare tire battle, that's going to be a great thing to focus on. How do you drop visceral fat? Well, it's not quite the same as burning more calories and eating fewer and seeing a temporary reduction in excess body fat. This is where you really want to get the stress factors in your life handled and optimized. So when you're carrying that spare tire and secreting inflammatory cytokines into the bloodstream, guess what's happening? It's a concept called aromatization, where whatever testosterone that you are fortunate enough to make and release into the bloodstream gets converted into estrogen. That's the aromatization of testosterone into estrogen due to your inflammatory state, as evidenced by the spare tire. So we want to fight this battle hard and try to get rid of that spare tire. Now, it's different than just dropping excess body fat, because you really have to do the hard work to correct those overly stressful patterns, and that will be the subject of a additional breather show hitting the diet, exercise, lifestyle, protecting from endocrine disruptors in the environment, and ways that you can improve sex hormone status, and thereby going backwards rather than getting a spare tire, which begets the accumulation of more spare tire because you're aromatizing testosterone into estrogen and you're becoming more inflammatory. You go backwards and get rid of that spare tire through healthy lifestyle adjustments and practices that are going to get that chronic stress down, that chronic inflammation down, allow the sex hormones to work their magic. One of the things that testosterone does is promotes the development of lean body mass and the efficient reduction of excess body fat. But first, you have to get healthy. Experts like Dr. Tommy Wood have made this important, amazing point that before you think about dropping excess body fat, you have to establish a baseline level of robust health before you can tackle that goal, which we usually perceive to be eating fewer calories, burning more calories, and all that kind of stuff. But none of that's relevant until you're burning energy, you're burning cellular energy internally effectively, and you are moderating stress hormone production and sympathetic function for a better stress-rest balance. So right now, we're just going to talk about that scoreboard and realize that the scoreboard for testosterone optimization and overall sex hormone optimization for both sexes is to make sure that you don't accumulate that spare tire, or if you do have one, work to get it off. Thanks for listening, watching,